to the Wager Makers Podcast with Webb and Smitt.
Brick by brick, baby. I'm freaking out, Webb.
I was told there'd be no man. Stupidity's going to be an asset. What a bunch of crybabies.
Hello, my name is Steve Smith, and this is Rob Weber. Say hey, Webb.
Hello. What's up, Smitt?
What up, Webb? I'm Smitt, that's Webb, and we are the Wager Makers. This is the Wager Maker Podcast. Thank you all for joining us. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. Off-season football, people going here, going there. Spring training, baseball, NBA, getting into the All-Star break, right into the meat of the schedule. NCAA basketball is going wild. They're in tournament, conference tournaments, end of the season coming up. We're talking about the brackets here real soon. Lots of stuff to talk about tonight. Webb, this is Wager Maker Podcast number 83.
Number 83, Smitt. I had to do a little research on this one. Reid came up, Hall of Famer. I was a fan back in the day on the Bills, but I might have to give it up to Ted Hendricks. So he was like the old school Raider.
Right.
He's a Hall of Famer, which I think I knew, but I that was a little before our day, Ted Hendricks. But interesting, one of the things I saw when I was doing the research, the dude blocked 25 field goals. Like, how the hell?
Funny.
There's got to be worth something for that. I mean, that's an accomplishment. I don't even. In 10 years, is there 25 field goals blocked a season? I don't think so.
Right. I actually had that written down here. I was like, damn, 25 field goals. I think 15 seasons he played, and he won a Super Bowl, was a Hall of Famer, all that stuff with the weird number, especially back then for a linebacker.
Yeah.
But 25 blocked field goals.
Dude, that's a weapon.
When I saw that, I even wrote it down. I was like, I got to bring that up. It is unbelievable.
That's a weapon right there. I mean, that's your scoring points at that point.
Right. Unbelievable. And then obviously Reid with the run and shoot offense they had over there. And I guess they called it run and shoot back then with Jim Kelly and stuff, whatever it was. It was like cutting edge at the time. Obviously went to 4 Super Bowls without getting any rings, but Reid, great career.
Small Kutztown University guy too. Small school dude.
There we go. All right. So Webb, we got college hoops is really heating up. We got a lot of big games on tonight. They got some Big 10 matchups, some Big 12 matchups going on. And don't forget, everyone out there, we're going to be doing a bracket pool. So that'll be not next week, but probably the week after will be the week we'll do our bracket pool. We'll go through all kinds of stuff. Anything standing out to you in hoops right now with college hoops going on?
The Big 10, it's funny. You don't see the Big 10 is probably far and away the best conference. You don't really see that too much. I think 1 through 8 or 9 is pretty good. Even Rutgers is decent, and they're down to like 10. Who else? Like Purdue is down there, and in Indiana, and they're pretty decent. But so they're pretty. I do like Illinois. I'm gonna have them make a little bit of a move, and then the Big 12 too. I mean, Baylor. We've talked about Baylor before, but Oklahoma. Scott Wheatley sent us the thing about Oklahoma State. I don't know about Cunningham. You hear a lot about these guys. I don't know. It seems like the older I get, the more crotchety I get. Everything is just you get paid on potential. There's no one gets paid for results anymore. It doesn't matter what you do. If you have a name, you're going to make $1 bazillion. But they're good. Kansas is always going to be there. Oklahoma's good. We got them later on. It's just interesting how this is one of the years that it's kind of weird that the Blue Bloods aren't really running the show.
Right. Yeah, it's weird to see that. I watched North Carolina against Syracuse the other day. It was a terrible outing by them. Obviously, the Kentuckys and the Kansases and the Dukes some of them are starting to, and even Michigan State starting to try and make a little push to get in there, but I think it's going to be too little too late unless they really make a splash in some of the conference tournaments. Speaking of Scott Wheatley, he is now our official Oklahoma State correspondent. We asked everybody out there if you want to be. So he texted me, and it's funny because I had seen Oklahoma State play like 3 or 4 times in the last 2 weeks when we were against them, and they kind of beat me a few times. But I still was not that impressed with them, not that impressed with Cunningham. But anyway, he texted me, hottest team in the country, ? Oklahoma State. Just swept everyone's secret bracket pick, Oklahoma, which I know you've been liking Oklahoma this year, and I'm on them tonight against Texas, but they haven't been playing real good as of late.
They were hot.
5 wins in a row, 3 in a row versus top 20 teams, 12-3 against the spread since January. 4 of the last 4 are dogs. And he said NBA #1 pick Cade Cunningham, a Ben Simmons that can shoot the 3, 19.8, 6.5 as a freshman. And they have big games coming up this week against Baylor and West Virginia. And what I told him was, I've been actually watched Oklahoma State a lot this couple days, and I'm not real impressed. But every time I watch, they say Cunningham's going to be the #1 pick. Every time I watch, every announcer, every game, different announcers, different games. And to me, he just disappears for long periods of time. He's probably great athletically as a freshman, but just I'd like to see him be more aggressive. Take the control of the game. But every game we watched, the last 3 or 4 games we lost when we were against Oklahoma State, he did hit the big shots coming down the stretch and made the big plays coming down the stretch.
He has played better as we got into the end of February there, but he disappeared early on. And again, it's all hype. There's nothing that he's done on the floor to make it. It's all based off potential. It's not like he played 3 years in college. Forget 4 years. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. So he didn't play 3 years in college. Even the top guys. There's another dude who went to the G League, who's probably going to be like the 2 or 3 pick, and then they'll look at that Luke Garza for Iowa, and he gets no respect because he's a big guy, which there's no big guys anymore, and he went to school for 4 years, so he can't be any good. So it's all. I mean, you look at the top 4 or 5. They're talking about dudes on Carolina going in the top 10. They can't play. I don't see it. I don't get it. The NBA is getting more and more absurd to me as the minutes tick by.
Right. And then so Scott reached out again to me today and said, I know you're on Oklahoma State plus the 12 against Baylor. And I told him, I said, look, man, Baylor struggled a little. Baylor had at one point,
they were off for 26 days. They had
a long layoff, and they're just now starting to roll. And I told him, I said, I'm expecting Baylor to bust out one of these days soon. And sure enough, they're up double digits right now. I don't know how that game's going to end up. But
this is their 3rd game back. I think they lost game 1. I had them, I don't know if you had them. I definitely had them on their first game back.
They lost at Kansas.
Right. And then they beat somebody game
Iowa
2.
State, but it was a struggle.
Yeah, and Iowa State sucks.
Right, and then they beat West Virginia in overtime. But that was another game where they really looked bad early and came on late. I think they might just be getting their legs underneath them right now.
Yeah, and this might be a good time. That might have worked out well for them because a couple teams peaked. I think Oklahoma might have peaked a little early. Illinois might have peaked early too. Gonzaga, it's no longer, they're no longer the Davy and the Davy Goliath situation. They are now leading. They're right up there with one and done dudes. So they've been going all along, but they've never been tested. I think even when Carolina was crushing teams, I always want them to lose. Certainly around maybe not now, but before now, maybe February or something like that. At least get a loss, know what it's like to battle. There's just no competition for Gonzaga, so that's what makes me have a little bit of pause with them. But right now Baylor's good, man, and they're legit. And if they're just getting like it's practice time now, they could probably even run through that tournament fairly easy. Even if they don't win the Big 12 tournament, they're still going to be one seed anyway, so they're in good shape.
Right, and then you mentioned Illinois. I like Baylor a lot. I think they're just athletic. They shoot the 3. They play D, and they're athletic as heck. They got all the things you kind of look for. Gonzaga, to me, they've been a team that always kind of fizzles out when they get really down to it. And yet, all these years that we've been talking, has Gonzaga ever won the national championship? All these years, it seems like since we were kids, it's been like, man, this team's really up and coming. Every year.
It was 25 years ago when we were playing golfing, and the dude was like, I'm sick of them getting fucked. No, they're the big dog now. They're one fucking team. Right. I think did they win once? That's a great question. Let me see.
I don't know. We'll have to look that up. I don't know. I don't remember them ever being like making it all the way.
I know Carolina beat them one year. And then I think they might have won it the next year. I don't know, with Marshallonis or whatever his name is.
Right.
But we'll see. I don't know. Maybe pull it up.
And speaking of Illinois, we got to keep an eye on one of their best players got hurt last week. Got an elbow to the face or something. So we'll see if he can come back with a mask and all that kind of stuff. And that dude, the big dude Illinois has, Cockburn or whatever, that dude is a fucking beast.
Oh, yeah.
He's unbelievable. And then they got some good talent at guard. I think some young guys at guard, and then that guy that got hurt, I think he's kind of like a 3 wingman kind of dude. But Illinois is very good. Michigan beating the crap out of Michigan State tonight, and I think they play again this weekend. So we'll see.
I don't know. I saw them against who? I don't know who it was, and it was supposed to be a big game. And
Ohio State, I can't.
Yeah.
So you said you weren't impressed.
I was unimpressed but Ohio State was hot there for a while too. And we were on them, and they were pretty good to us. But they don't look like they play too much D. It's just all they do. They will get an open 3, and maybe if they shoot 40% or whatever from a 3 that night, and they can certainly get hot in that little truncated period of time, they can win it. But they're not impressive in my mind. I don't think they're going. No championships for Gonzaga.
No championship. Yeah. All this every year now, it's like, oh man, they're the team, but they don't play anybody all year long.
Only one Final Four. and that was that Carolina beat them in 2017. They've been into 8 4 times. That's fraudulent.
Right. So when you're filling out your bracket, people keep that in mind. I know a lot of people. I've done bracket pools in the past and hosted them and everything else. There's a good portion of the people have Gonzaga going all the way all the time
for sure. They'll be this year too.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. This might be their best chance to ever win one, but it seems like we've said that a lot in our life. So all right, moving on. Let's just talk a little bit, Webb. J.J. Watt, Russell Wilson. We talked about Deshaun Watson. A lot of these guys come out, say, kind of disgruntled with what's going on, where they're at. J.J. Watt was so unhappy with Houston that he wanted to go someplace and win and get going on. So he goes to the Arizona Cardinals and signs a 2-year, $31 million contract for $23 million guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean,
if you were going to pick a team to win, would Arizona Cardinals be on the top of your list?
It wouldn't even be in the top. No. The short answer is no. And even I think he was talking. He was there the other day, and his first press conference was, "Yeah, the weather's good." So he didn't even say he was impressed with the facility. He didn't say the guys were awesome. He just said, "Yeah, I woke up with 65 degrees. How cool is that?" So, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So the dude was just looking for a money grab. Right. But I don't know why he needed to do that. I'm sure someone else would have paid him. So I don't know why something was going on. And they're in, they have their own issues. To get him in there. They're going to let 2 of their starting linebackers go. Larry Fitzgerald is old anyway, but he's going to be on his way. And Patrick Peterson is out. Their offensive line has sucked for a decade. So I don't know. They were a comer 2 years ago, and now they're kind of in the same spot that they were. So I don't know what he's going to bring. A 32-year-old dude with injury history. He's a good player, no doubt. He's a piece, but he's not the piece.
Right. And then just to keep with this theme a little bit, we'll talk about Russell Wilson comes out. Just not all this year. I thought all this time. I thought if there was any symbiotic relationship between player and coach and team, I always thought of Russell Wilson as like a staple in Seattle. So he kind of comes out. I'm sure this is nothing as extreme as the Deshaun Watson situation, but he did come out and said, look, this might be manager speak or agent speak and stuff like that. He's got a no trade clause, but he did come out and say he's unhappy with the offense. He's unhappy with how he's getting protected every year.
Hit, yeah.
He's unhappy with a lot of things there in Seattle. And he even named, even though he's got a no trade clause, he named 4 teams he'd be willing to go to. To me, this is something that's going to get fixed in-house or whatever, but it sounds like Seattle's somewhat open to listening to trade things for
I'm gonna disagree. I think that he's gonna get moved before even Deshaun Watson gets moved. I don't know who the fuck he thinks he is. They gave him the money. That's the ultimate respect. They before all this nonsense with Prescott, even before any of the drama with Deshaun Watson, all that, he came out and cried when they gave him the money. Now, all of a sudden these guys are the greatest. How they gave him this respect and this love, and now they're like, Hitler or something. I don't know. But what has he done? What has Russell Wilson done to when they were good? It wasn't him. They had Marshawn
Legion of Boom.
Right. So I don't know where he gets from. And last year when I gave him the keys to the car, he had a good couple of 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and then he didn't do dick down. He didn't even get one All-Star MVP vote. Let Russ cook. Fuck him. What's he done? What has that team? Especially that's one of those things that they kind of seem to do it with. Bubble gum and duct tape. I don't know really anybody who's that good except for the defensive guys. I mean, and Wilson, he does, he running to his left. He throws that lollipop touchdown pass, but he's getting paid for that. So I don't, I'm getting, sicker and sicker and more upset with these assholes every day when something else comes out. How, making an obscene amount of money is just not good enough. They're not showing you love. You're not getting your respect. I've said it last time. I think I did. If I'm an owner, I'm just going to say, give me the $350. Give me the contract. You take the headache and the team. I'll show up, do my thing. Give me the money. You take the rest of the bullshit.
Right. I think we talked about this similar situation. I think it was in the NBA last year or something when there was some issues in the NBA and some players were actually talking about breaking up into their own league or something. And I try to explain it's so much of a different situation when you're the dude, right.
Right.
You're the dude losing the money. Like these dudes you have no risk.
No,
making the $350 million over 10 years or whatever it is. Right. There's no risk.
Right.
You other than you got to play and it's going to be tough.
Right.
But the
league folds,
the owners are the ones losing money in the during the COVID and during the other. I mean look, and I'm not sticking up for them as far as I'm sure they make money plenty of times other times, but they're the ones writing the checks when COVID's going on and there's nobody in the stands. That's coming out of their pocket. There's no money coming out of Russell Wilson's pocket when shit goes bad.
You open a business. Are you going to be penalized because that business is successful? I mean, half these guys are so smart in their professional or whatever lives. Look at Jerry Jones. The dude is a genius, but he can't run a fucking football team. Most of these guys, they're brilliant on one aspect. And they get to the sports, and I don't know, they're hard or whatever. They think they think they know. They don't know shit. Half of them run them into the ground. It's just more and more frustrating. Where literally $35-40 million to play 16 football games is not enough.
Right. Well, you talk about the owners that they're being brilliant or whatever, tall and whatever, but they have the business acumen. They're successful at business, not necessarily football or whatever. But this is a business. When Russell Wilson and his agent are sitting in the boardroom signing up the contract, don't tell me they're not thinking about business. But all of a sudden, once it's said and done, now it's all about everything going. Even Cole, the pitcher for the Yankees, came out the other day and said how much, like when we talked about last week, I think it was front office guy from the Mariners was talking about when they had to hire a translator, it's $75,000 extra dollars, that if two coaches are equal, you're going to take the dude that you don't have to pay the extra $75,000.
Of course.
So I know maybe it was insensitive the way he said it or whatever about how the guy speaks or whatever, but that's the bottom line shit that you think of when you're the owner that you don't think of when you're player. And it just seems like over and over between J.J. Watt, Watson, Cole, a bunch of baseball players came out and said the same kind of stuff. At what point do the owners it would be great to have a perfect relationship with your staff and your management, your players and everything was on the same page and you can just, but it is a business. And so at what point do you say, listen, I'll take your advice, but I don't have to do it.
Right. Out of the courtesy, I'll take a meeting or something. Right. But I think one of the baseball thing with Cole, I think the other thing that the guy said is they were talking about bringing these players up, these young studs. You got to bring them up. I don't know, whatever the date is. Because that way they're not arbitration eligible for another year or whatever it is. And I think that's what he was saying. Like they're almost not trying to win or not trying to put the best players on the field just to save some dollars.
Right.
But they don't say where the kid signed out of high school when the kid signed for $7.8 million. Like none of that's talked about, how the kid banked the money already. These baseball, like we're going to cry for baseball players. It's another thing. It turns my stomach.
And the thing is, like Cole makes $36 million a year. So where do you think that money comes from? Right. Well, if you've got two dudes that are about equal from the farm, two role type players, and one makes this much and one makes this much. That's how you make up for that.
You're right. That's where it comes from.
It's just basic business sense. So when he gets his $36 million, I don't ever see him saying, "Listen, I'll just take $30 million."
Right. Make sure
you can get that other shortstop that another $6 million. I don't see nobody doing that.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, I get it. I mean, I do like teams like the Mets and the Knicks for many years. They looked at it as a profit center, and they really didn't put all that money towards, especially when there's some type of revenue sharing. Right. All they had to do is just put a minimum. You want a salary cap on the top, put a salary cap on the minimum. Make sure everyone's got to at least pay whatever, I don't know, $100 million and cap it at $250. That way, at least there'll be some type of balance between these teams, and a problem solved.
Right. So I mean, I hate to be. I think we're turning into grumpy old men in some cases. And it seems like every generation, like I can remember my dad saying it, my grandfather, these damn guys make too much money, whatever. But it's almost to the point where the guys are making so much money, there's no reason for them to listen to what the ownership has to say. Right. If they're unhappy, they get their money. And then what would it really hurt if Russell Wilson makes whatever he makes, $30 million a year, $25 million a year, whatever it is. Well, if he's unhappy with the ownership, he could sit out a year.
Right.
And in the next year, you're just going to be a free agent, and you're going to get all that much. So you take a year off, and you already got your $100 million ahead of time, and you take a year off, and then next year I'll just play for somebody else. There's no
I mean, that's the only leverage that the Houston Texans have over Deshaun Watson.
Right.
And it's human nature. If you're going to give me whatever, I signed my name and there's $50 million. I'm not motivated. I'm sorry. It's human nature. You want me to run and jump on a loose ball when we're down 15 and 2 minutes left? Why would I? That's going to hurt.
That's what makes the great ones great, is that it's very few and far between lately. Look at Michael Thomas signed that huge contract as a wide receiver last year. Last year he did nothing.
Done.
I don't
all,
even
all of a sudden the hammy hurts, right? Then ankles, it's a high ankle. There was nothing that the year before that.
Right. Because you're playing for the contract.
Right, exactly. Right.
So it's few and far between when the dude that makes the money still shows up the next day the same way all the time. So
early another thing, it's like they showed Zion last night or this whatever. I guess he lost. They showed him shooting foul shots after the game. Well, first of all, that's your profession. And if you're doing it, obviously you need to fucking work on it. And now we're supposed to be like, pat him on the back because the dude put in some extra work. Like there's in a regular season, there's 82 games. How many days in a year? 360 something, right? So let's do some math. That's like a third. Let's call it a third. So he worked every third day. He's got to go to fucking work. So now you're going to tell me that we're going to pat him on the back. Let's give him more money for shooting for an hour and a half after practice. Thanks, dude. Thanks, bro.
It was funny. They were building him up for that, and I saw the things tonight. But Van Gundy's response to that was awesome. He said, "Yeah, man, it's great." He's like, "It's great. It's great. I'm glad he's doing that. It's everything, but he missed a couple shots, and I wish the players, because basically the Pelicans' biggest problem is that they suck at defense. Right. So he said, I really wish the guys would get that upset every night about the defense and decide to do something about that after the game, like work on the defense instead of. It's easy to go out there and shoot some free throws, but if you guys all get out and like he didn't say all this, but he was like why don't you guys all go out and work on fucking help out defense and shit,
do some drills,
right? For some reason the guys don't care. They care a lot more when they miss a shot than if they give up a layup.
Right, dude, dribbles right past him. Right.
So I thought
I'll go out there and shoot some jumpers. Why not?
Right. Yeah, right. I'll take an extra jumpers. I'll
shoot around for an hour, sure.
Right. How about give a shit about the guy driving past you, score? Right. Like the Pelicans give up 100 through three quarters on the regular.
Right.
You know what I mean? Almost on a regular basis.
Like the ABA.
So, yeah, and just so that was kind of our theme tonight, is just at what point do the owners have to listen? Just like at my business, we have meetings, and I welcome people to bring up ideas that they might have, and sometimes I take the ideas, and sometimes I say, well, thank you, and I don't take the ideas. So I mean, but there's a million other things going on besides maybe what that one person sees is sometimes what happens. But speaking of Russell Wilson, I get a little message to the Saints fan. I know I'm Homer talk sometimes. I got a couple little messages just while we're talking real quick to Saints fans. Number one, I know Russell Wilson's agent mentioned the Saints as one of the teams that he would be interested in coming to, just like any quarterback would want to play for Sean Payton or whatever. But Russell Wilson, hear me now, is not coming to New Orleans to play quarterback. Okay, there's not anything. I don't think this is as big a deal as some other issues out there. But the Saints are $50-something million over the salary cap.
They just had to cut the punter
right now. Well, I'm going to get to that as well. And the Saints fans are losing their head over the punter, and I'll get to that in a second. Nothing but love for Morstead, but we're going to get to that in a second.
Right.
But and then we get our clown ass mayor comes out this week and shoots a video saying, Russell, come. And Russell Wilson's married to like some
Sierra, I think her name is.
Whatever, some superstar too, or whatever. Yeah. Oh, please come to New Orleans. She's got the umbrella and everything.
Yeah, the umbrella.
This bitch, we're not even allowed to go out on the town in this fucking town. What would he come here for?
You're right.
I mean, it's unbelievable. So this fucking and Mayor LaToya Cantrell is in the islands right now at a convention, and meanwhile our convention center is not open.
Right. It's like Ted Cruz.
It's just unbelievable. So I just wanted to get out this bitch. Listen, Russell Wilson's not coming here. The numbers don't match. The giveaway for what you get for him is not going to match for the Saints. I know that it was mentioned. It's a ploy for what he's trying to do to mention a couple names. You're a pawn if you think that he's coming.
At best.
Okay, so let's get that out of the way. So you can stop Mayor Latoya. We can worry about more important things, like maybe getting back to business. Right. Maybe opening up for something. But anyway, now let's get to Thomas Morstead. Dude's best punter in Saints history. Was the kicker in the ambush play that helped them win the Super Bowl. He was the one that kicked the onside kick against the Colts in the Super Bowl. Dude does tons of work in the community, like ingrained in this community, has been for a long time, since Katrina. Unbelievable dude. What's that?
He's the punter. You'll be all right.
Okay. He makes $2.6 million to be the punter. Right. He had his worst year of his career last year. And look, Morstead, if you're out there, I'd love to hear from you. Nothing but respect.
13 years or something, right?
Right. Nothing but respect for Thomas Morstead. He's great. He's been great for the community. Just like I talk about Drew Brees in the community. Dude's been great to the community. But people,
what's that got to do with the football?
They used to get upset about Morton Anderson and be like, he's the Hall of Fame. I'm like, he's a fucking kicker.
Right.
Okay. The Saints already, they picked up a punter last year in the offseason. And he's been kind of on our practice squad all year. And the dude's going to make probably like league minimum, maybe.
Yeah, he'll make $800,000.
When you're in salary cap hell, the Saints have been renegotiating people's contracts all week long.
Yeah,
it's just life. Okay, Morstead is a good run.
Right,
guys, fans, take it easy. He's the punter. He's the punter. Okay, we'll be all right. We're going to be all right. We're going to get through this. It's okay. You can stop pulling your hair out.
All right. I don't know. Yeah.
I need to talk to Saints fans. They're going crazy. They're going crazy over here today over the punter shit.
Yeah, it's a punter. Somebody will kick the ball. Don't worry.
Right. So let's get we lost a couple of bets this week. We were red hot in the NBA. I think we won at one point like 11 straight.
Yeah, NBA. That's all
NBA picks between the end of last week and the beginning of this week. And then we got hit by the Kawhi Leonards and I'm not going to get on Butler. We were on Miami and Butler sat out, but I think he's hurt. Butler, I think, is one of the toughest guys in the NBA, Jimmy Butler. But he sat out a game without two. Yeah, right. But Kawhi Leonard sat out with one game left until the All-Star break for rest. And you don't find out.
It says rest, like Kawhi Leonard out, rest.
Right. And how many would you say? 81 games out of 82 games out of 365 days?
A regular season is 82 games plus this preseason and the playoffs.
And this would be like if you were going on vacation next week and being like, listen, I really need a day. I really need a day this week. I really need a day this week for my vacation next week.
I need a day today, boss.
And he cost us money, but I just want to get into the NBA, man. These guys. Is anybody? I'm going to first say this: LeBron is the toughest man in the NBA. Yeah. His sidekick Robin, Batman. His sidekick Robin is sitting out like usual. Anthony Davis, just like we know he does all the time.
Not for weeks.
Right. He was missing Schroeder, whatever the name is, for a little while. I think even Harrell, I think the tough guy they got off in the offseason. He missed a couple games. And LeBron's basically been playing for the last 2 weeks with like nobody's out there.
Oh, right.
And I mean, like he just missed, I think tonight, whether it was tonight or last night, missed his first game of the season. And he was legit injured.
Right.
This dude plays every night and fills up the box. He scores. He gets assists. He gets rebounds. He gets blocks. He gets steals. I know we've said time and time again what side we are on the Jordan LeBron thing, but man, every time I watch LeBron, I have more and more respect for what he does. Just the toughest guy in the NBA. That being said, the NBA is a bunch of fucking wusses. Yeah, I'm so tired of it.
There's no defense. It's horrible. It's impossible to watch. It's one-on-one after one-on-one, and then everyone just shoots his three. That's all. Like watch James. All you gotta do is watch James Harden. That's the NBA. He's talented. It's a skill, but it's not the whatever. I mean, it is the NBA, but it's not what we watch. And it's just easier. There's no hard foul. Everything is ticky tack. The rules are just made to. It's almost like highlight or something.
Yep, nights off. Everything. Webb. So I guess was this thing. So Jeremy Lin, I guess he's an Asian basketball player.
Yeah,
and I don't want to get too critical because I know in today's day and age, you
you'll get fired for that.
You can get in trouble for saying things bad. But
Zoom will ban us or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess he got called in trash talk, and we've been on a court. Shit gets said. Shit gets said.
Of course.
So he gets called. He gets called coronavirus.
Right.
And apparently he's so upset about this. He took it to the league. He told on who how do you talk trash? And can you what does trash talk sound like in the NBA?
Right.
I don't know.
What do you call him? Like a dork? What are you going to say? You're hey, you're
Bill Carton. You
right?
Nothing,
I don't know what. I mean, I'm sure a mama joke is this way offensive.
Yeah.
But how? Like, what do you do if you're the league? Like, somehow the phone rings, or you're the league commissioner or whatever, whoever handles it. And you're like, Jeremy Lin's on the phone. Oh, okay.
Not even NBA. It was like the practice
or
league.
whoever.
Right. It was the D League or whatever.
So there's and there's some dude who's making fucking $50,000, $60,000. It's like, what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do? Do you want me to go find a guy? What am I suspend him? What am I going to do? Right, it's not even in the. I guess it's like in the lower league. It's in the G League or the D League, whatever it is.
Whatever it is. It was one of those leagues.
It's high school kids. He's playing with high school kids.
So unbelievable. But I don't understand the NBA now. Do they even like? That's they used to be part of the game. The guys talk.
Of course,
Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Isaiah Thomas, and I mean, I'm sure they used to say they were all talking. I just don't understand.
Imagine what they say. Yeah,
are they all just it would be like, hey man, are you taking off tomorrow? Yeah, right. I'm taking off. I need some. Yeah, I need some rest.
Right.
You look like you need some rest.
Are you tired? You played a couple nights in a row. What do you play? 3 games this week, dude. Take tomorrow off.
Yeah, you got rest. You need a day, bro.
Come on,
you got to rest from this playing basketball for 2.5 hours.
The man's 2.5 hours. Down.
Right.
Dude, the one day we bet the Raptors and OG Anunoby, whatever his name is. He's 24 years old. He makes $24 million. He's like a $68 million contract for like 3 years or something like that. Sat out, rest. And the team's like 500. Like they're right on the borderline of the playoffs. It's the first half of the season. I get that, but why are you paying? Is he going to give the game check back? Like who decides it? Like, hey, coach, can we talk to you? Listen, I'm not. I'm tired. Last night was. I played like 35 minutes.
Right.
Like I don't understand. I don't know whose idea, wherever this came from.
Yeah,
at least
that's they monitor minutes like crazy now too. So even nobody's playing too many minutes, and like they're like they automatically come out like with 4 minutes left in the first quarter, and then they come back in with 8 minutes left. Like it's like so regimented. Nobody ever plays longer than they're supposed to.
Right. I mean, it started with Kawhi, I guess, a couple years ago when he was with Toronto, but that was him coming off the year where he missed the entire season. So at least it made some sense. I don't know, man.
And I'm gonna be honest. With the NBA and almost so many teams make the playoffs. It's probably not the stupidest thing for a team to make sure the dudes are fresh going through. But LeBron's played every game except for one.
But that's not what they're doing. That's not how it's positioned.
But like when you mentioned Kawhi. They won the championship that year, so
that's what happened. Then it became a thing. But that's not how they do it. Like dudes are taking. First of all, this is a truncated season. It's not even like they're playing the whole. And I mean, maybe that's going to be their excuse why they're doing it. There's more games and
more condensed or something.
But you're taking. Week 1, you're taking the game. You're taking the game off. You play 2 games.
Yep.
It's just crazy. It's
I
crazy.
don't understand. But and just I don't know. I think the coronavirus, that's a pretty funny thing. Maybe I probably shouldn't say that. I might have to cut that out. I might have to cut that out. But it's just.
But I don't understand. Like, where in his head? He's like, dude, I got to tell somebody.
But nobody like that. That's the good thing about talking shit. It doesn't really mean. It shouldn't mean anything like that. Like the shit shouldn't mean that much.
Right. You just shake hands.
Do you think you're the cause of the coronavirus? Then you know what I mean. Nobody thinks you're the cause of coronavirus.
Right. Say something back. Say something to the dude who did. I mean, I don't know. I don't even get it. I'm gonna go tell somebody.
Right.
Right. That's even where. I mean.
So it's just weird. We talked. Unfortunately, Tiger Woods. I don't know I think that happened since our last show. Got in a bad car accident.
I think it happened the day of the show, maybe.
And Yeah, could have. But I thought it was pretty cool. They had a bunch of guys wear red shirts last Sunday. But it's funny. That's one of those things where like obviously on tour, a lot of people like Tiger Woods, I'm sure, but I'm sure a lot of people don't.
Sure.
There's probably jealousy there and everything else.
Right.
Just
he probably was
personalities. You got 100 something people on the tour. Not everybody's like.
Right.
So I'm sure going Saturday night when that shit started going around, some of the dudes that don't like him, like, hey, we're all wearing red shirts. We're all wearing red shirts. I'm sure there was some dudes like, what the fuck? I don't want to fucking wear no fucking red shirt. But if you don't, then you look like a jerk.
Right. What's the opposite of red? That's what I'm going to wear.
Yeah. So I just thought that was funny.
What's this dude? I mean, first of all, he cannot drive. Clearly, this is what his third or fourth. That's the first thing. We're going to assume that there was nothing nefarious going on, whatever. Although they did look for the black box.
If there wasn't, he really can't drive.
And who knew there's a black box in your car? That's the other thing.
Right. I didn't. Maybe his fancy car, but I don't think it was a super fancy car. It was like a Honda or Buick, something that he probably endorses,
But now here's the other thing. Tiger Woods is worth a significant amount of money. So he's going somewhere at 7:15 in the morning. Can you have someone drive him? How much? He cannot drive, clearly.
Somebody said he was in a hurry because he was late. Like, if you're Tiger Woods going to a meeting, the meeting waits.
Wait.
You know what I mean? Like what meeting was he going to?
Where you got to get into your car and drive fast to get there.
To where you're going to flip over and fly off the thing.
So just have your people call their people. I'm sorry. I oversaw whatever it is. I'm on the way. I'm coming. I apologize. I'll buy dinner. I'll buy lunch.
Tiger says he's sorry.
Right.
He'll be there in half an hour.
Right. He'll buy lunch. But on him, order some room service, whatever. Order room service.
He'll sign the deal, whatever you're trying to sell him that day. Listen, this is going to give you you're going to be in better shape than you were
better mood.
Before.
Be a little more humble. Right. He'll be more amenable to your deal now.
Right.
He's going to be like, tell him to take his time. We're here whenever he gets here. That's what they tell him.
You're hanging out at his private club, probably having some free time. Nice. Just put it on Tiger's tab. Right, exactly. He said, just get whatever you want. Put it on Tiger's tab. He'll be there in a little while.
Order the shrimp, lobster troubadour.
Put it on the what was that movie?
Put it on
Chevy Chase. Put it on the Underhill. Put it on the Underhill.
Yeah. Fletch. Yeah.
Fletch. So so I just thought it was funny. There was some dudes getting a call Saturday night saying, hey, we're all wearing red for Tiger tomorrow. And there was some dudes like, I ain't fucking doing that.
I ain't answering this. Right. Look at this text. He's telling his boy, like, look at this. Look at these assholes.
You suck his dick already.
Right, exactly. He's showing his boys, like, look at these assholes. They're kicking this kid's ass. Hasn't won a tournament in years. Just still kissing his ass.
Right. So that's. I think we're running out of stuff. Don't forget, everybody. We are going to be doing a bracket pool, and so we're going to come out with our picks. I think it's going to be not this week. The week after. That'll be.
That makes sense.
Our picks.
So,
that'll
be the conference tournaments will be over at that point. I think
brackets. We talk about some buzzwords that just get started. And I found the new one in college basketball. Web, you might have heard this recently. So we talked about like when the Jets got beat, all of a sudden, all you heard out of dude's mouth was cover zero, and then physicality. All
physicality,
that kind
of stuff.
And so a quad one win.
Yeah.
I've been hearing it all day, every day.
Oh, yeah.
It's a quad one win. It's a quad one.
Yep.
So that apparently is an important win for the brackets. Is what I find out it means. So. If you beat a good team on the road, that's a quad. That's a quad one.
It's like Mel Kiper. The dude's got a week that he's in the spotlight. He's got to come up with everything and earn his money. Same thing. It's what's Joe Lenardi. And Ken Palm, the rankings, bracketology. He's got to come up with.
And I don't get it. Okay, so teams are on a bubble. First in, last in, last out. First four out. What does first four out even mean? It means they're not in.
Not NIT. Not in the.
Does that mean they're the closest to not being in? Right. I mean, I don't know what that means.
Right. You're right. I never got that either.
All right. So I think that kind of runs us down. We just wanted to touch base with everybody. You got anything else you want to discuss this week?
All right. We covered it all.
Covered it all. We need a goal in 4 minutes.
We need Oklahoma later, and we got a couple NBA games too. Check out our picks. We did put our UFC picks out there.
And during the show, Scott Wheatley just texted me, so I'm assuming that maybe Oklahoma State did cover the 12.
Made a little bit of a run. Yeah, that's really nothing to. I mean,
they won by 11. Congratulations.
Yeah, great.
It doesn't mean they're the up and coming team of the.
Right. That doesn't mean right. Yes, lose by 11 again. You won't be in a tournament.
All right. So that's it. Thank you, John Grove, for the bumper music. Thank you, C. Reilly and Little Saint the Goat. Thank you, Will Burr Investigations. Thank you, Nick Perone and MN3 Technologies. Devin's going to tell you about YouTube.
Hey guys, it's Devin. Make sure you subscribe to the Wager Makers podcast on YouTube, like all their videos, and click that bell so that you turn on your post notifications and you never miss another video.
And yeah, well, thank you, Devin. And while we get to this, start sharing this shit. Enough is enough.
Absolutely.
I saw something on the news the other day, said there's people that watch people on girl's got a YouTube channel and she vacuums her house and she's got like 1 million subscribers.
There's a bunch of it. There's a dude who just orders Chinese food and eats it and then critiques it. He makes like $100,000 from YouTube.
Then, like we might have to start one of those the fans only fans page or something like that. I don't know. We have to go over the top with this shit.
Right, do something. Right. We'll have a link to it or something like that.
So, don't forget, you can check us out anywhere you listen to podcasts and YouTube. You can check out our picks on sportswatchmonitor.com, Facebook at the Wager Makers Podcast, Twitter at the Wager Makers, Instagram the Wager Makers. Ask us any questions you have at all, thewagermakers@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to answer them. And Webb, we forgot UFC.
That's what I said. We got our picks out there. Yeah.
UFC 15. Oh, I didn't do. I thought you were going to put them on the show, but I'll put them out.
Well, we could do it. We got. We're going to go the UFC straight from the Wager Makers UFC. Nunes is going to win. That's a lock. It's funny. I hear everyone hates her. Like, who cares? I don't hate winning tickets as long as I see plus 200 next to Nunes. I'm good after at 11 o'clock Saturday night. We'll be good to go. And then also Jan. That's a little bit of a coin flip. I think that was minus 110 each. And then the other one was Ananisha, the Nigerian. He's coming up in weight, but he's going to get that done too. That's going to be a good fight. But and Desanya is his name. That's the other one. And over there is a good pick too.
Cool. And I'll put these out on our Facebook and everything like that too before Saturday night.
And we'll have them. We'll do that each week. We'll have to figure out a little something each week for the UFC.
Yeah. We should do that on the show every week.
Maybe and we're good, man. We are. I mean, I don't know what our record is.
Unbelievable. Stephen Mellon asks us all the time about the UFC, and we've been giving them some good stuff.
Winner after winner, absolutely.
So. All right, man. We need some winners tonight.
And we are open for sponsorship for our first annual Wager Makers NCAA Bracketology pool. So anyone interested in that? That's it. Brick by brick, baby.
Yeah, sponsorship for anything.
That's right.
Take us out, Webb.
That's funny. All right, brick by brick. Thanks everybody for listening. Go Heels.
Welcome to the Wager Makers Podcast with Webb and Smitt.
Yeah. Hey, shout out Wager Maker Podcast.
Brick by brick, baby.
Yeah.
Here comes the Wager Maker Express.
I hear y'all sick of losing money cause y'all don't know how to bet. Better hit that Wager Maker Podcast with Smitt and Webb. They gon' show y'all how to do this. Take these notes like y'all some students. Y'all can't seem to pick them right. Well, tonight y'all lucky night. It's that Wager Maker Podcast. Wager Maker Podcast. Wager Maker Podcast. Your bookie getting sick cause we built this brick by brick. It's that Wager Maker Podcast. It's that Wager Maker Podcast. It's that Wager Maker Podcast. Come and place your bets with that WM Express. Let's go.